Welcome to Boss Up. Get ready to elevate your game with your dynamic hosts. First up, we have the visionary powerhouse, Dan D. Johnson, who's a failure transformation expert and a financial literacy and business coach with a wealth of knowledge to help you scale and grow. And joining him is the inspiring and charismatic Shada Amour, your corporate expert and life coach, ready to share insights on leveling up your life and relationships. Together, they'll guide you on a journey to unleash your potential and boss up. Now, welcome Shada Amour and Dan D. Johnson.
Hey, what's up? It has been a journey to get here today. Let me tell you, it has been a journey.
A journey, girl. I'm telling you, it's been more than a journey. But you know what? We love our technology
We love our technology. It works
because
when it
without
works.
our when it works, and I mean it works. But when it's a technical challenge, we are challenged.
We are challenged, but that's okay. We push through. It
We
makes me
push through
just
it.
think about business. Like there's going to be some times where you're just up against something that makes you want to just quit. And you
Yeah,
just got to keep pushing through to the other side and knowing
yeah.
that you're going to get to the other side and be successful. So we push through today.
We listen. You talking about push through the day, girl? I didn't push through all week. This Boss Up Marathon has been a journey in and of itself. And next time you have this bright idea, yeah, now. Okay, well, we could do it again. We just
We can do it again.
we'll do it again. We just got to work out some stuff. But I'm super pumped.
Today is
Girl,
going to be fire. Oh my,
it's
we are
it's
ending
it's
with
fire.
fire.
Matter of fact, it's Fire Friday. That's what we call it. This Boss Up is the last day, and it is Fire Friday. You hear me?
Fire Friday.
All week long, we've been dealing with some wonderful people that are experts in their field. On Monday, we kicked this thing off, and we dealt with Boss Up Your Brand, right?
Yeah.
We dealt with Boss Up Your Brand. Then Tuesday, we came back and we dealt with Boss Up Your Accounting, because it's not how much money you make, but it's how much money you keep.
Right.
And so you got to make certain that not only you keep money, but you keep out of jail. Amen. Praise the Lord.
We ain't
And
going to
then we ain't going to jail. Then on Wednesday, man, with my girl Sunset Monet, we had to boss up your credit, baby. Because
Yes.
listen, if you got bad credit, you're going to have bad credibility. And people are not going to see you as credit worthy. And it's going to impede on your ability to scale. And
Correct.
so then yesterday, we dealt with boss up your banking relationships with one of my personal commercial lenders and personal bankers who private money bankers who is bad. And so he gave us a lot of insight. I call him the Apostle Paul. He's been around a long time. 40 years he's been doing banking relationships with small business owners. And so today,
we about to
Whoa.
deal with the money.
whoa,
We about to deal with the money.
today, we got my big brother, my Gemini twin, my Greek, my brother from the Divine Nine.
Oh,
This man is another gentleman. You notice a lot of the relationships you've been hearing of more have been relationships that I've had since I was 19 and 20 years
I
old.
know. I'm so
The-
sorry for them. I'm so sorry.
You know what? If I didn't want you to go to heaven with me, I'd tell you to go somewhere else. But I want you in heaven. But this particular relationship, I can say that Mike has mentored me in a lot of ways. I am now I'm considered a center of influence in some of the things that he's been doing. I've been around Mike since I was 19 years old. I have watched this gentleman not only grow from a economical perspective for his own self and his family, but I've watched him take hundreds of people to six-figure incomes. A couple of few people. Listen, this man is a man of influence. He's a man of affluence. He is a God kind of man. He is a family man. He is a Greek
Yes.
man. He is a black man. And he has personally taken on the mantle of helping as many families and many people become financially free and independent as possible. Listen, I need everybody to welcome to the stage. Guess what? He really needs no introduction. Anybody that watched this video probably watched this live, know who he is. He is the guy that is aging in reverse, none other than Mike Evans, Coach Mike Evans.
Come on, Mike.
Y'all.
Welcome.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Sister Moore and Brother Dan, for just allowing me to give. They say the more you give, the more you receive. So I want to give a lot so I can receive a lot back. So I'm excited on being here with you all this afternoon or this morning, depending on where you're located at.
Listen, thank you so much, Mike. We're excited to have you, and we couldn't have had. Listen, we got the best closer in the building, y'all.
We got the
and
best
so,
closer.
How can we not close out Boss Up Marathon Week without the closer himself? And so, I'm gonna pass it to Mr. Moore. Let her ask you a few questions because I don't want to. Because I could take over this whole show with you. And then she'll be feeling a certain type of way. So I'm gonna pull back. And I'm going to let Mr. Moore ask a couple of questions, and we're going to get this thing rolling.
All right. Well, I'm so excited to hang out. I've been trying to get a little more dirt on Dan. Mr. Evans has not really given me anything to share with y'all about, Dan, but he is here to share with us how to build wealth. And he already dropped some gems with me from the very beginning. And so I would just love, with every guest, we've asked them, what are the 5 keys to building wealth? And I think, like, when you hear his keys, you're never going to be the same. So why don't you tell us about the 5 keys? What would you say the 5 keys to building wealth?
First, before I start with the 5 keys, let's start off with why 95% of the people don't win financially. Let's deal with that. That's where I would have been had somebody not sat down and helped me move through the scenario. The 3 reasons why most people lose the money game. Number 1 is no financial education. I don't care what degree or non-degree they have not been taught how money works. So no financial education, financial literacy. That's the number 1 out of those 3. Number 2, they have no financial game plan, nothing in writing showing how to hit the goals and dreams that they have. People don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan. It's called procrastination. We all have that. And then number 3 is no financial coach. So I went to Calumet High School, left Calumet, went to Northern Illinois University, graduated with a business degree, but I still did not understand or learn what I'm going to share with you in my 5 points. So that's the education literature. Your parents can't teach you what they don't know. So I had to reteach them what I found out. That's number 1.
Can I just say something that is so key? When you think about, and when I think about my own life and the mistakes I've made financially, a lot of it was I just didn't have the knowledge and I didn't have the coaching to be able to do that. I'm actually this weekend taking my kids on a wealth planning weekend because I'm like, I'm going to spend time this weekend making sure that you will not say I did not teach you.
Right.
You will not say that. And it's something that we're planning as a yearly thing that we'll come back together, that I'll help them set goals, and then that we will check back in because we got to be teaching them. I want them to be in a different place than I am now. And I know that comes from just that financial literacy and also that coaching. I love what you said about that. That was great.
So in school, going to point number 2 in the 3-point plan, in school, we sat down with a counselor and we told them we're going to major in X. And they stepped you through and said, take this class and take this, and graduate with a C better. You got to do. So, but once we come out of school, there's nobody there. You got to actually lay out the same goals and dreams. Tell me where you want to go. Yeah. What age do you want to retire? Where are you trying to get to? How many children you're going to have? What we got to stack up money for that. We got to have emergency money, vacation money. We got to plan for that stuff. If you don't plan to fail, you're going to fail to plan. So that's the key. And then with coaching, as we all know, I'm a money coach. You all are different coaches in your own right. As understand that you got to be coached through it. If you're going to buy a house for the first time, you rather go with somebody who bought a house they can tell you some things you need to watch out for, where they'll say, oh, you could buy this as is, no problem, you don't need no inspection. But if you pull the panel off that wall or move something out of the way, you'll find out it's all kind of stuff behind that wall. Plumbing is messed up. So you got to have that inspection. So that's why we tell people, when I sit down with them, I tell them up front, put your checkbook up, bring your notebook out. Let me just educate you. If it makes sense on what I'm going to teach you, then I want to compete for your business. Okay. I want to earn your business. So we got to understand we need a financial plan. And when I sit with clients, I tell them, we're going to give you a financial plan for free. They're going to charge you $1,500 on the street. That's for free. So let's get to those 5 points.
All right, here we go.
We can deal with it. The number one point is you have to get a better rate of return on the dollar that you're making. Too many times we got money sitting in the wrong place. There are 3 buckets of money that you need to have. 3 buckets of money. Bucket number 1 is any goal that you have that's 3 years or less. Any goal that's 3 years or less. Do not invest that money. Do not invest that money. That money needs to stay in the checking, savings, money market, credit union. That's put and take money. Fast you put in, fast you take it out. It doesn't matter that it's only giving you 1% return on the dollar, because nobody's making money on it because you put it in and taking it out. So all money goals is 3 years or less, leave it over there. Any goals that's 3 years or more, but not retirement, goes into bucket number 2. Bucket number 2, that money needs to be invested in a mutual fund or investment vehicle of your choice, but it needs to be invested. And bucket number 3 is your retirement bucket. That's your 401k, deferred comp, IRA, Roth IRA, annuities. That's over there in that bucket, because that money needs to be set aside in a tax shelter, tax deductible scenario. Only other than the Roth IRA is not tax deductible. Everything else is tax deductible. So that's the 3 areas that you want to set up where the money's going. So in order to set that up, we need to also understand why you got to get a better return, because they show that there's about $13 trillion sitting in checking, savings, money market, credit unions. It's called scared money. Unless people don't understand how to make their money work for them. So people leave it over there. Well, the bank, I don't care what bank you're at, you're getting 1% interest or less on the dollar. And so there's a guy named Albert Einstein that took $1 at 1%, and they kept adding it together or more. He wanted to see how many years would it take my money to double.
Wow.
How many years would it take it to double? It took 72 years for $1 to double to $2. If you got $1 at 1% and keep adding it together, it's called compound interest. Took 70. So the rule that you can look up on your own is a rule called the rule of 72. It shows you how many years it takes for your money to double. So a person with 10,000 would take that money. I saved 10,000 in the bank and I'm getting only 1%. I want to get a better return. The banker is going to tell you, we can put you in a CD and we can give you 3%. So 3 goes into 72 24 times. It's going to take 24 years for their money to double. Right. But the bank is going to take your 10,000 or more and loan it to me.
And they're going to make some money on that.
They're going to get 6%. 6 goes into 72 12 times. That money's going to double every 12 years for the bank. All that they don't loan out, they're going to give it back to us in a credit card and charge us 18 to 24%. And if the bank just makes 12% after all overhead is done, that money's going to double every 6 years. So do you want your money doubling in 72 years and 24 and 12 or 6? Okay, we got to get the money doubling. So that's number 1, rule of 72.
Well, I don't want them to use my money at all to make money. I want to make money on my own money.
Well, and that's where you want to go with. But remember, it has to be in one of those 3 buckets. So let them make
bucket 2. That's
short time. So we dealt with making sure that's happening. Next, let's go next on how we get to where we got to go. So Amor, I'll ask you this question. Amor, my question is, what age were you when you made your first dollar? First time you made money, what age were you?
16.
16. Let's pretend you were 16 again, and you was making $200, $50 a week. And somebody said, I can show you how to become a millionaire or multimillionaire if you do one thing. The one thing that we would tell you to do is you need to pay yourself a minimum of 10% or 15%, a minimum 10 to 15% from now 16 until you stop working. So watch this. 10% of $200 was only $20. Back when you was making $200, you had another $180 to do your thing. But you $20 went to your bucket number 2, your investment bucket.
I spent mine all. I spent it all.
We all did. Here's my point. The point is that if you would have paid yourself 10%, which was $20, 15% on every check from age 16 till now, you would agree we both would have a lot more money. Am I right?
Amen. Yes.
Well, we
Definitely.
can't change the past. All we can do is change the future.
Yep.
So in changing the future, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I'm going to use a number and just say, I would ask you, so more, what are you making right now a year? And let's just say you said 60,000. I'm just using an example.
No, about $500,000.
Right. I'm just going to use 60,000.
I'm just saying, I don't care. We bosses.
Right. So if somebody was only making 60,000,
right.
10% of 60,000 is $6,000 a year. Divided by 12 months, that's $500 a month. So I would have you write down 10% over 500. Then I would have you write down 15% over 750. Okay. So 10% would be 500, 15% would be 750. I would ask the client, with everything you got going on or more, would your budget allow you to pay yourself 10%, 15%, or neither? Okay. When they asked that question at 26, when I saw this for the first time, I said neither. I can't pay. I can't pay 10% or 15%. And he said, well, Mike, oatmeal is always better than no meal. Oatmeal better than no meal. So if you can't do 10% or 15%, what can you do? And I said, I could do 350. All right. So in that scenario, I was able to start putting together my goals and dreams for 350 because you got to get started. And that's the biggest problem. People don't pay themselves first. They don't stack any money. And I know for our biblical people, I do know a rule of 10, 10, 80. Pay tithes on your 10%, pay yourself 10%, live off 80. But for today, we're talking about paying yourself first for the 10%. So to understand that, we have to make sure, if we're talking about the 3 buckets, that 10, 15% that you can set aside, say you was able to do 15% or more, that's $750. So we got $750 to decide where it needs to go. So that's would be my next piece, with making sure people pay themselves first. And the more somebody would ask me, well, Mike, I'm 40 years old already. Is it too late for me? I would say, are you in hospice?
You're right. Exactly.
They go, no, I'm not in hospice. I said, if you're not in hospice, it's not too late. Okay.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that I asked, I'll ask you more, what's the oldest age person that is living or have lived in your family right now? The oldest age somebody lived or living. What's the oldest age they became?
96.
Okay, so 96. So watch this. Here's my point. More based on where you are right now, whatever age you are, if you live to 96, you would agree you're going to need more money than you got right now. Am I right?
Yes.
She's going to need more money than she has right now. So we got to make sure we get started and paying ourselves first. I don't care what you start with. I just want you to start so we can quit procrastinating and where we can play this game. It's 2 areas that other communities have got an edge on us. The one edge they had on us was they began to understand money earlier, and they began to put the principles in place. The same principle I'm talking to you about. We could have done these same things if somebody got to us and just showed us how to play that game. Okay, so I think it's very important for us to be paying ourselves first. 62% of the people that have a 401k program at their job, where they're matching dollar for dollar, Dan, 62% are not even in the 401k plan. They're giving them $1 on $1. That's 100% return. I can't get you 100% return on your money. So you got to get that, whether they let you put up 3%, 5%, 8%, whatever they let you put up, you got to be in that program. But if nobody takes the time to educate, you would not be in it. When they talked to me the first time, I had a 401k at my job. But I didn't understand it. I just pressed some buttons. I didn't know what I was doing. But bottom line is they was taking money out of my check and matching it. So we're telling you all, we got to pay ourselves 10 to 15% or get started somewhere. So that's my next point. So I'm ready to go to the next point. I'm trying to stay within the 5, within your time frame. You let me know if you're ready for me to go. Keep going.
No, you're doing good. Let me just say this real quick within the time frame. My children, my oldest son right now, based on the principles that Mike is talking about, he'll turn 29 years old in October. He could, if he does not increase any further bills, if he don't have another child or anything like that, he will be able to retire in 4 years and live by the age of 33 and live off the interest of the money that he's been saving and investing based on some of the principles Mike's are saying. Another thing, my 2 children, my 21-year-old and 22-year-old, about a year and a half ago, we put them on a program with Mike, who has, like I said, I've leaned in on him, that by the time within a 7 to 8 year periods, respectively, if they never saved another dime, based on the principles Mike are talking about right now, at their retirement, they will retire multimillionaires.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I just want y'all to know it works. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So I deal with two areas that I make sure I focus on. One is living too long and running out of money. You would agree that's a problem, right?
That's a problem.
Run out of money. That's a problem. The other problem is dying too soon and not leaving any money for the people you say you love. Okay. So I teach individuals how to rent wealth until they can own wealth. All right. What do you mean by rent wealth till you can own wealth? See, people use life insurance for burial. I use insurance to rent wealth until you can own wealth. So if I was going through this with you, Amor, I would say, Amor, I would ask you, you didn't got to answer these questions directly, but I would say, Amor, do you currently have any life insurance outside of your job? And you're going to say yes or no. Okay. If you say yes, I'm going to say how much you have. What are you paying? Then I'm going to say, Amor, 3 questions. Do you love your family? You're going to say yes. Do you consider yourself responsible? Yes. Can you make a common sense decision without taking forever? Yes. Well, I want the audience and you, Amor, just to write this down right quick. Just take a note of this. On the top of your paper, I would have you to write down love test, because insurance is not for us. It's only for people we love. It ain't for us. So whatever insurance you have on life insurance is not for us. It's for the people you love. So I'll have you write down love test at the top. On the left-hand side, I will have you write down the acronym of DIME, D-I-M-E, D-I-M-E. D would stand for death. I would stand for income. M would stand for mortgage/debt. And E would stand for education. So I'm going to give you my numbers. Audience, you can put your own numbers in this. But next to the D for death, I would have you write down 15,000 because you need enough for burial if something should happen to you. So we're not dealing with more of these GoFundMe accounts for individuals who have not prepared for that piece. So 15,000. Somebody said, well, I don't need 15,000. I'm gonna do cremation. Great. That's 6,000. All right. But bottom line, you need to have some money left for that. We come down to the E. We said D-I-M-E. Come down to E. That's where education is. I teach that if you have children 12 and over, you need to at least put 60 grand there. If they 11 and under, put 40 grand. So I had a child at that time that we put 40,000 because they was under the age of 11. So on your paper, it would have 15 and 40 for me. All right. Then the next question where it says mortgage/debt under the M, we would ask the question, if somebody said or more, don't answer this now. If somebody said, I'm going to bless you and wipe out all the debt that you have right now, all the debt you have, I'm going to wipe it all out. Student loans, credit cards, car loan, everything. I'm going to wipe it out. How much would the check need to be written for? For me at the time, we said it was 150,000. My wife and I, it was the 2 student loans we had, the car notes we had, and the credit card. We didn't have a mortgage. So we put 150,000 right there. So on my paper, it would be 15,000 by the D, it would be 40,000 by the E, and by the M, it would be 150,000. So now we have that. I'm finna go somewhere. Now we got the I left for income. So if something happened to you tomorrow and burial was taken care of, debt was wiped out, education was partially funded, my question with you is how much of your income would still need to keep coming in monthly without saying all of it? How much you need to keep coming in for somebody to still have food, clothing, lifestyle, and shelter? The people that you're caring for, your survivors, what would they need? And so for me, I said she would need $3,000 with her still working, raise the children, everything else, all the debts wiped out. She'd need $3,000. I teach this concept. All of you all heard of trust funds. Most of us did not have them growing up, but trust fund says you want to leave some money on a monthly basis, calculate dollar amount I'm leaving for these people I love for so many years. Well, from a trust fund standpoint, it says for every $1,000 you want to leave to a loved one, every $1,000 you want to leave to a loved one, you got to at least have $100,000 worth of insurance. Well, why that, Mike? Because if that $100,000 is invested into a good mutual fund or investment vehicle, and it just averages 12%, 12% of 100,000 would pay you 12 grand a year. That's $1,000 a month. They're living off the interest without touching the principal. That's what that is. Well, for me, I said she needs at least 3,000. So for every 1,000 you say you need 100 grand, so I had to put 300,000 down because I wanted to leave $3,000 a month. So when we add my total up, my 15, my 300, my 150, and my 40, it comes up to 505,000. So Amor, you may have given me a number earlier telling me that I got $100,000 worth of insurance already outside my job, Mike, and we see that you need 500. 100 ain't gonna get the job done. You need 500. Otherwise, we bury our loved ones, and our loved ones come back and bury us. Well, what do you mean? Because we bury them, but their income don't come in, and they leave all the debt on the survivors. And now they bury us because we can't make it on one income and got all the debt still upon us and move forward from there. My father died, had a $10,000 policy, didn't know no better, died, was bringing in $2,000-3,000 a month. My mother had to raise 3 kids on one income. So it was a challenge. It was a challenge. It didn't have to be that way. If somebody had taught him how to use insurance to rent wealth until he can own wealth, he could add 150,000 for the same money he's paying for 10, but nobody broke that down. So my point is that out of the 505,000, we say, do you have 505,000 or more that you can get your hands on? Something happened to your family right now? No, I don't. Well, that's why we got to rent wealth until we can own wealth. Because we're going to be stacking money up, and the money we stacking up is going to grow. So we're going to own some wealth down the road if the Lord let us live. But if we die before that hand and we go home beforehand, then we got to make sure we leave some money so our family still survives. So remember, we came up with that 10-15 now scenario, and you said you could do 500. Well, we're going to find out how much does it take for you to get 500 worth of insurance, and we're going to take the rest of that money and we're going to invest that into your children's college education plans, 529, into your Roth IRA. Make sure you're maxing out the program at the job for the 401k. We're going to put together an emergency fund, and we're going to put together a regular mutual fund. So we're going to put money in bucket 1, bucket 2, and bucket 3, but we're going to work with whatever dollar amount you have. So that's how we get ourselves in a position to rent wealth until we can own wealth. So the 2 things that I wanted to cover was people living too long and running out of money. That doesn't have to happen. Or people dying too soon and not leaving any money. And we got to watch the debt level. We got to begin to live below our means. Quit spending more than you bringing in. Some of that stuff don't need to happen. We need to stop it. Spending too much money. We on Facebook. We got all these things, people spending money. And I'll tell somebody, they say, well, Mike, I don't have that kind of money. I said, well, we need to change some of the things we're doing. I said, what do you pay for cable? They be like, oh, cable, they paying $250-300 for cable. Now, is cable going to replace your income? Is cable going to help you get wealthy? I'm not knocking it. I ain't saying you ain't have none, but bottom line, I'm just saying it's $300. I asked a person, how much you spend on auto insurance? I had a person tell me they spending $550 a month. One person spending $800 a month. So you tell me your car is
on insurance?
On insurance, auto insurance. Okay. So here's my point. On auto insurance, you're spending that much. So I asked them, how much is your car worth? They said about $40,000. And you're spending $280 a month for auto insurance. Okay, no problem. So if you wreck the car or somebody steal it, the company's gonna give you $40,000. You're paying them $280. I'm not saying you got to have it, but I'm putting it in perspective. But on your life insurance, you tell me you only got insurance at work. We know a lot of people used to have insurance at work. Problem is they don't have the work no more. When the pandemic happened 30 days later, everybody who got downsized, laid off, or whatever they called it, they had no more life insurance. And if you're older, the more older age you are, the more it costs you. And if you got some bad health issues, that's a challenge as well. So you got to make sure you have it outside of your job, not just at your job. So I wanted to make sure we could put that piece in perspective. Those are the 5 areas that I would say people need to do. And the last area, if you was like me, where I couldn't pay myself 10 to 15%, then you need to go on an entrepreneurship journey. You need to have another 3 or 4 ways to generate money. You got to have some other income coming in some kind of way. And you figure out whatever that may be for you. You need to have some other streams of income coming in so you can hit them goals and dreams that you have for you and your family. Coach out.
Coach out.
That's the mic.
Listen, somebody just said you dropping them jewels. And listen, y'all, I have been fortunate enough to be around Mike and to receive this level of information and to do wealth conferences with him now for over 30 years.
That was amazing.
Years. And so it works, you guys. It works, but nothing works if you don't work it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. We talked about getting a better rate of return. There will be no return if there is no investment.
Right.
And so the reality is you got to start where you are. Start where you are. You can't get ready. You got to start with what you got and watch what you got grow. And it'll prepare you for where ready looks like for you. And so I am super pumped. Thank you so much,
How do we
Coach.
get in touch with you, Coach? Like,
yeah, but how we get in contact?
How do we get in contact with you?
I can give you my email and a phone number if you're ready.
Okay.
You can put it in the chat. The email, if you're ready, is snsdmje5@gmail.com. snsdmje5@gmail.com.
Sorry, SNDMJE.
SNSD.
Oh, NSD. Okay. At
Like
Gmail.
National Sales Director. Senior National Sales Director. MJE5@gmail.
Okay.
And the phone number is 312-656-9593. 312-656-9593. If you give me a call and leave me a voicemail, okay, call and leave a voicemail, we will get back with you within 24 to 48 hours. If you send me an email, please put some details on me to be able to get. And please mention that you was on the Boss Up, so I know where you came from. Boss Up. So mention that so I know where you came
from. All right. That was amazing. That was fire.
Man,
I didn't even know. I wasn't even ready for that. I was not even ready for this.
She a babe in Christ. We trying to get it. I've been trying to grow up. She's been around me, Mike, for about 15 years. Now, listen, over the 15-year journey, when she started, she was an assistant principal. She was trying to figure it out. Then she became a principal. And then it just kept growing. And now she just keep growing. And now I can't get rid of her. But it's okay. That she's my partner in prosperity. But you dropped it today, Mike. Thank you so much, my brother. Merry birthday. Come on, for June is right around the corner.
Yes, sir.
Greg got a birthday coming up on June the 10th. June 10th. My birthday is June 8th. And yes, great people was born in June, especially that first 10 days. So, yes,
I
sir.
can agree with you on some parts of that, but yes.
Hey, Mr. Moore and Brother Dan, I appreciate the invite. As I said, the more I give, the more I receive. And I will follow up with you all and let you know that your listeners did reach out and we were able to bless them. Anybody that calls, we're going to give you an ebook called How Money Works for free. An ebook called How Money Works for free. And also we'll give you an opportunity to get a free financial plan at no cost to you and no obligation. A free financial plan and also a ebook on how money works that will explore what I just shared with you all in much deeper terms and details with pictures and graphs to back it up. 39 pages, 9 chapters, 3 pages a chapter. Boom, it's gonna blow you away.
Thank you for your generosity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Mike.
Oh, sorry,
man.
That was amazing.
You don't cut Mike off.
I'm so sorry.
What the heck is that? That is so rude. You cannot be like this to our guest.
I'm sorry for being rude.
Look at that smile. He was trying to give it the dimples.
He was trying to thank everybody. I'm so sorry.
No, we're good. We're good.
All right, thank you.
Y'all have an amazing day. Be safe out there.
All right, have a blessed one.
Campaign yourself first and stack up some money. Let's go.
Let's go.
Have a great day.
Yep. Hey, listen, that was so true what Mike was saying. My barber was asking me, a barber. He wasn't my regular barber. Was saying he needed to get his money up. What can he do to get his money up? And I said, man, can you invest at least $500 a month in yourself and in your family? Because he has no life insurance. He has nothing for his kids. He got a wife. He got 3 children, but he has no financial plan. And he said, no, I can't afford that. I said, what do you mean you can't afford that? He said, I can't afford it because I don't have that kind of income. I said, how much money you've spent on smoking weed every week?
Did you ask him this?
You know dang on well I asked him this. You know I don't play. And then he said about 125. I said, how much money you spend on drinking every week? He said, oh, I don't drink that much, maybe about 50 to 75. So you spending $800 a month on a vice that's killing you, that's taking you out.
Right.
But you won't make the necessary investment back into your family to give them life.
That's crazy.
I say, you know what? Something wrong with you. You must be smoking weed. Yes.
All right. Well, this has been so amazing. I've learned so much. And I don't know, I'm going to re listen to some of these so I can catch some more gems because so much information has been shared. And
Man,
I'm
this has
trying
been
to
a
spend time
marathon.
with you every day. What is happening?
I know. Lord, pray for me. Everybody pray my strength in the Lord. No, love
right.
you, girl. It's been wonderful. Let's hit it.
I think everyone has been bossed up this week.
They've been bossed
Definitely.
up. All right, I got to go catch my next meeting.
And that wraps up another empowering episode of Boss Up. Join Dan D. Johnson and Shada Moore on the next episode of Boss Up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow Dan and Shada on all social media platforms for more insights and inspiration to boss up your life. Until next time, remember to keep shining, keep grinding, and always boss up.